What up, everybody? It's your girl July from Kickback Couture. I'm going to show you how to make trap hi-hat patterns the easy way. I made a loop with a couple of layers using the Poly Brute and Scenic from Reason. So let's just get straight into it. Let's go ahead and grab a grain for the hi-hat. Now you can use whatever hi-hat sampler you would like to. But in this case, I'm going to use grain because it's going to allow me to pitch the sample up and down. And when I say pitch the sample up and down, I mean like this. I could play it in different pitches, and that is important for trap hi-hats. In order to set up this grain, I'm going to start from scratch just so you can see. Going to reset it, reset device. And what I did was I put it on one-shot mode, dragged in my hi-hat, and pull down my attack here so that it doesn't cut off the beginning of the sample. And now that's what our hi-hat sounds like. All right, so now I'm gonna go to the sequencer and gonna create a clip. And here is where I'm going to put my hi-hat pattern. Now I'm gonna play the loop a bit so you can hear what's going on. And I'm gonna solo or mute the 808. Alright, now the simplest way to make trap hi-hats is going to be to use the pen tool, use the draw multiple notes, or just use the draw single notes and hold down Alt on a Mac, Alt or Option, and you just go along. Now this is probably going to be too fast. I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like. Those are 3-6 Mafia style trap hi-hats, but not necessarily modern hi-hats. So if you wanted to sound more modern, what you would do is you would take that and you would make it half the time, half the speed. Right now, this is really simple and it's really stiff. So what you might want to do to make it more interesting is add some rolls. And a roll is basically within these notes, you double one of these notes. So if I have this note here, if I want to double that, then I'll add another one. So basically, you would repeat a note in the off area outside of just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can add notes in between there. And I would stick with 16ths for that, but you can try smaller values if you want. It'll still sound pretty cool. If you're just starting out, try not to confuse yourself too quickly. I would start simple. Duplicate this if you want. Try that out. That could work too. And you can experiment with different sizes for your rolls, different timing for your rolls. All right. And it doesn't have to be extra intricate because it could sound weird if there's too much going on. Another important thing about hi-hats is velocity. So on grain, I'm going to pull up this velocity knob. And now we can use velocity in the sequencer, which is these down here, these bars that point vertically, to control how hard or soft the notes play. All right, and hopefully you can hear that. I'm going to solo the hi-hats. That's with the velocity all the way up, and then with it coming down, you can barely hear it. So that controls how hard or soft the note's being played. So pick the notes that you want to change the velocity on. I usually go every other note. So since these rolls were one note, I'll take these, select them, and pull them down. And I'm just going to do every other note. And then it'll kind of add some more bounce to it. Versus this. Hopefully you can hear how that adds some variation and some more rhythm to the hi-hat pattern itself. The third thing you could do is mess with the timing. So again, I would grab every other hi-hat, even the groups that are now split up. Grab every other hi-hat, and I'll start with the, grab every other hi-hat, and I'll start with the even numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Start with the even numbers, and then I'll pull the timing either up here, click on this, drag up, or click on it and drag down, and experiment with that. So if you drag down, the pattern will feel rushed, and if you drag up, it'll feel dragged, kind of like it's lagging behind. So let's listen to it dragged. And of course, it's cutting off the notes a bit, but you get the point. And let's listen to it rushed. All right. And if we want to fix that, so that the notes aren't cutting each other off, we open up the tool window, go to legato adjustments, and hit apply. And let's make sure we grab all the notes and not just some of them. So this is rushed. And this is dragged. Now, maybe you like one of those better than the other. Maybe you just like it stiff on the grid. Me personally, I like to bring mine up a tad to the left, just a little bit. And then I'll make sure the notes don't overlap. All right. And then with the melodies, cool. Let's duplicate this for the second half as well. And then we'll add some variation in the second half. Now, the reason I use grain is because I wanted to exploit the advantage of being able to pitch our samples up and down. So here, I'm able to play with the pitch. Now, maybe not in this area, but I can do something here and kind of make the pitch go down with the roll. Even here, maybe. Select these two, go down. Select these two, go down. And I'm holding down Command and pressing the arrows in order to move them, by the way. All right, now you can hear what sounds weird, hopefully. Though that sounded a bit weird. It was kind of threw you for a loop. All right, now let's play this from the beginning. An extra tip I'll give you for hi-hats are adding reverb and delay. So within grain, if you're using grain or mimic or whatever sampler you're using, you can add effects. And within the grain, since it is a sampler with the effects in it, it is right there at our disposal. So I'm just going to turn the reverb on as I have here. Make sure I'm on the right window and turn the amount down so the tail isn't too long on that reverb. Can also add some distortion. We can even add some delay to this. So I would make sure, I want to try some ping pong delay. So I'm gonna make sure ping pong is on, and let's mess with the amount. It's at 10%. Now it's up to you what you do with the rest of your drums. If you want some more tips on drum bounce, watch this video next. That's all, Culture, Kickback, and Cook Up.